that I was requested to do while I was in New Zealand was to come find this single Fairlie in Reefton Park, Reefton, New Zealand. I'm up on the West Coast region. Little bitty town. It used to mine coal. This is about the extent of it. There's a little bit more farther down towards the other side, but there's not a whole lot here. It's a cute little place. We stayed last night down in, where were we? Taylorville. And the Airbnb that we were staying at, I mentioned that I was coming up for the train, and they put me in contact with someone who's kind of the railway expert in the area. So I got a little bit of history, and I got a little bit of stuff from him, sitting down in a little tea room.
This is what we call a leading bogey.
Okay.
And there's a pivot about here, under the boiler. And so the whole thing can turn.
Right.
So it means it can go around very tight curves.
Right. She was asking me earlier, she's like, why is it so tiny? I'm like, probably because it was used in the mountains, getting up into the mines and everything, and they can navigate the curves better.
The mountain and the hilly areas on our national railway network. So this worked in Otago, out of Dunedin, and went up what was called the Otago Central Line.
Oh, okay.
Went through a gorge, tight curves.
Right. So this is a single Fairlie. According to the surviving steam locomotive, this is the only one in the world like it. That actually is true. There are two others. One is in the Henry Ford Museum in the U.S. I don't remember exactly what it's called off the top of my head. And then there is another one in Wales, and it is operational.
That's cool. I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. So a little bit more research will be needed. As you can tell, it's kind of in sorry condition.
It's never been treated that well.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
And the thing I always say about static locomotives is that you've almost got to put as much care into them as operating locomotives. And people just think, well, you know, it's made of steel, it's going to last. Well, steel rusts, you see.
Right.
And that's the issue with this, that, you know, there's a considerable amount of rust associated with the, particularly with the frame and some of the undercarriage here. And boilers rust too. They not only rust from the outside, they rust from the inside.
Well, and you get the wood around the outside that rots
Yes.
because it holds it together too.
Yes.
We've seen quite a few in our travels that are very sad. We wanted to cry at the looks. And he mentioned that it's usually easier to keep, especially in here with the government, keep things up and going and cared for when they're operational. He said that this one could be operational again. It's just a battle to get it to that point because of funding things. A little bit of interesting stuff. This train used to sit just down the way a little bit in a different little park. We're next to the skate park down here, so if you're coming into Reefton and you're looking, find the skate park because that's where it is. But they took the train tracks and they took the rails in order to move things. They moved them, and they had two sets, and so they'd move it onto it, and then once it was clear of one set, they would move that to the other section.